How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Circadia back with us again. You can say his name and what he does in the band.
Yeah, I'm Nathan James. I am the founder and creator of Circadia. Um, I technically am Circadia, and I hire people to play with me live.
There we
So,
go. Well,
yeah.
Nathan, we were just talking about it a second ago. You came back on, you've been on the channel before in 2019, so I'm sure you have a lot to talk about.
Mhm.
It's been quite a couple years since the last time I've had you on, so um, tell the people what's been going on, what's been happening. I see you've been posting a lot more under Circadia, which is great. So I guess let the people know like what's been going on, what's happening, and I guess kind of like what your plans are going further with Circadia.
Yeah, I took a couple of online courses about marketing and such.
Very cool.
On top of that, I watched a decent amount of like YouTube videos and things like that on just how to learn how to make your business an actual business, make it a success. And I had some difficulties with another project that I wanted to start that was going to be metal, but as much as I enjoy metal, that just kind of had me come to the realization that I'm not a metal artist.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm an electronic artist at heart. So, yeah, so I brought back Circadia as the main thing instead of a side project this time. I've been working with promoters and um, a couple of advertising agencies to get the music out there, the current album out there. Uh, the Spotify is doing tenfold better than it did when it first came out. So
Very cool.
um, we're actually starting to hear and know what Circadia is. So
That's very cool. And like, how's the process been? Like, obviously, like you said, this Spotify's been doing well. Like, do you feel like the opportunities that are out there are better than what you were doing previously? Like, I feel like when people kind of take their side project and they kind of make it their main thing, it's like sometimes sometimes there can be issues that happen, I guess. And do you feel like, because I feel like 2020 was rough for a lot of musicians, do you feel like you took a lot of time during that time to like really work on what you want to do? Have you been working on new music? Like, what have you been consuming your time with in terms of like what you want to do with Circadia, pretty much?
yeah, it's definitely had quite a bit of time to reflect, of course, because so many musicians couldn't
Sure. Yeah.
tour and travel. Um, so initially during the whole COVID announcement starting and everything, I just decided to try to make this whole metal thing my main thing and build it up and build it up. So that way, when touring would happen again, everything would already be set, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out that way at all, for various reasons. And then, of course, eventually, I essentially learned a valuable lesson, per se, in the fact that I don't think I'm a metal artist or a metal performer. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not in my blood as much as I enjoy listening to it. So, yeah, it just kind of had me go back and listen to Seeking Completion again after like a year or so of not listening to any of it at all. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I forgot how decent this is. Like, I enjoy and I'm proud of what I created here. Why did I just kick it to the curb? Um, so I brought it back. I put more money into it now than I ever have. But and that's one of the reasons that it's actually doing better now. Sadly, you do have to invest in your passion in order for it to go somewhere.
Oh, sure. I know that. Yeah.
But I'm actually happy to do it now. And I
Mm-hmm.
no longer have the mindset of this is just a side project. It's not that important. It's now like, nah, this is going to be my baby till I retire. So,
Very cool, very cool. Well, I'm glad you were able to turn it around and feel like you feel I want to say like I don't want to say accomplished because that's not the right word, but you feel like vindicated that you're making the right choices in by by doing Circadia as opposed to the like metal act. And I think it takes a lot of thought and like methodicalness in terms of like what you want to do and stuff. And like I can only imagine having two different projects and kind of having to choose between the two. It must have been tough, but I'm glad you're able to do it. As I mentioned earlier, do you feel like now like the like the juices are kind of flowing in terms of like writing new music and like working on new stuff? Like how far along are you in terms of like writing new music? Do you expect people to kind of have something new to hear from you within maybe the end by the end of this year, or what's your game plan with like going further into this year 2021?
Yeah, definitely. Believe it or not, just the 15th of this month was the first time I wrote a new song in over 2 years.
Very cool. Wow. Awesome.
So that's pretty crazy. But so that particular song is going to be released as a single and a single only.
Very cool.
But that will be coming out this year as most likely a lyric video, I think. Maybe
Okay.
even a music video. We will see. The second full-length record hopefully will be coming out by the end of next year or mid next year.
Very cool.
But I will be releasing 2 songs off of that record this year.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
And I will be doing my first ever professional quality music videos, and both of them will be coming out this year. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, obviously, new stuff on the horizon, which is always fun. Do you feel like it kind of is similar to the stuff that you were doing in 2019, or are you really trying to like broaden your horizons and try different stuff within the electronic sound? Or I'm just curious kind of where your head's at in terms of like writing new stuff. And as you said, the newest stuff you wrote was in not too long ago, so I'm sure it's pretty fresh now.
yeah, so like it's gonna be pretty interesting. I mean, I mean, basically all of my music is positive and encouraging, and pretty much everything I write involves some sort of concept of an entire album from front to back. So this will be another concept record.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I'm actually calling the title of the record what I was going to call the metal band, which is built from heartache.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, that's the title of the next record. There's going to be 2 original covers on that album as
Very
well.
cool. Very cool.
So with a very special featured artist. So I'm quite excited about that.
Very nice.
That's already in the works. Yeah, and the direction is going to be. I mean, I'll do my best to still, of course, have it sound like the Circadia sound that people are just now getting introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there's going to be some differences.
Sure. A lot of you've had 2 years to kind of, think about it a little bit, somewhat. So I imagine people are going to have a familiarness to like your old stuff from 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the next thing would be, how, in terms of lyrical process, like, do you feel like you're going to be writing in a similar vein as that too, or are you going to be kind of trying to expound more on like, what's been going on for the past 2 years with you and like kind of, switching stuff up, or do you want to kind of keep a similar like, lyrical process, I guess?
I've experienced and done multiple lyric processes. Like I've only once or twice have I ever actually written nothing but instrumentation first
Oh, very
in
cool.
the studio and then wrote lyrics. I've only done that like twice. But most of the time I actually come up with an album title first, and then song titles, and then lyrics and melody. So,
Okay.
but in this particular case, lyrics and melody and every song is basically already done.
Very cool.
It's just essentially the recording process that's going to be starting. So
Cool, cool. And are you working with the same producer you worked with in 2019, or you have someone new that you're hopefully, excited to work with and
yeah,
try new
no,
things?
I'm definitely excited to continue to work with New Kirk Productions.
Nice,
I've been working with him for over a decade now, and Seeking Completion was the second professional quality record that I released through him. The first one being back when Nathan James and the Scarlet Thread was a thing
nice.
in
Hey,
16. So, um, but yeah, like both of us have learned a lot and grown over the years, and um, we'll be producing equally as quality, if not better,
very
than
cool.
Seeking Completion or the Paramount. So yeah, we're excited to explore new ideas too that I have in mind for certain songs. So
There we go. There we go. And I know I asked you this the last time I had you on, but who is kind of influencing your sound now? I feel like kind of taking a look retrospectively in terms of your music and like writing stuff in 2019. I'm sure there's a lot more bands that you're listening to now and like are currently
mhm.
influenced by. So going further with like new Circadia, who are you trying to kind of like take influence from or inspiration from nowadays?
um, sound wise, I basically have been saying like when if the topic ever comes up and someone asks what kind of music, I do just tell them electronic pop rock. But it's
Nice.
the two bands that influence the most more than anything else is Owl City
Yeah.
and the Foo Fighters.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's a really interesting mix. So
What did you think about the new Foo Fighters record? I have yet to listen to it right now. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to it, but what do you think?
only I think the first two or three singles so far, but so far it is stellar.
Okay.
They are the masters at what they do.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
so stoked to listen to the rest of it.
I'm excited. I think it's. I want to say it's out because I know I've definitely seen it, but I'm not entirely
Hmm.
sure on when it was released. But that's definitely really cool. So hopefully, new Circadia guys in the new year, or this at least this year, and new stuff coming in 2022. But the next question, Nathan, is who? Obviously, you said you have a feature coming up on an up and coming cover. But if there was another person you'd like to have featured on an up and coming Circadia record, who do you think you would want to have?
Oh, there are so many people that want to feature. I actually kind of want to start to make it a habit of every new record or EP that Circadia comes out with will have at least one feature,
Very cool.
whether the person is already well known or not. Just to kind of experiment and do it for fun,
Sure. Yeah.
and to help each other gain exposure. But like, I have always wanted to sing with John Cooper from Skillet.
Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
dude's my hero. So I've always wanted to feature him or Jen Ledger, the drummer. Um, but also, Brent Smith from Shinedown, uh, Dave Grohl, Adam Young, aka Owl City. Uh, I think her name is Lauren from the singer for Churches.
I
I
think
would
you're
love to
correct.
feature her.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Um, yeah, a whole bunch of different artists. Um, Kevin from This Wildlife.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
a
he's
whole
great.
bunch of different people. Yeah.
There we go.
So
Well,
I mean, maybe at some point, but there's so many.
very cool. Very cool. Next question would be, if you were to compile like a dream tour lineup that would, be going out with Circadia, who would you want to have on your tour? Very curious.
Oh yes, I think this would be the coolest tour ever. So the headliner would be For King and Country. I
Okay.
don't know if you've ever seen them live. They are one of the best bands I have ever seen live. I've seen them, I think, 5 times now.
Very cool.
Oh, I would love to tour with those guys. Um, I would want it to be like actually a really eclectic lineup. So I think the perfect dream tour would be Circadia, Need to Breathe, and For King and Country.
Ooh, okay. There you
Yeah,
go.
get that southern vibe from Need to Breathe, But yeah, or even that's another thing that's nice is I feel like our music we can tour with just about anybody. We could tour with Demon Hunter and Of Mice and Men, or you know Mercy Me, or a whole bunch of other artists.
Yeah, you can kind of run the spectrum of like different
Yeah,
genres and stuff. Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. For those people watching this interview and aren't too familiar with Circadia, what would you recommend to a new listener? One song of yours, whether it's something that's coming out, soon, or one that is in your older catalog that you feel like people should listen to.
My personal favorite off of Seeking Completion, the 19 record, is called Heart on a Wire.
Okay.
It's not only is it unique as far as electronic is concerned, but the message is really hits you in the feels.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and it happens to be the oldest song on the record. I wrote it back in 2007.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. So, but it's my personal favorite with how it turned out, with a little bit of a Queen influence with the stomping and the clapping. So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Is that your oldest song that you have like that is out now? Is that like the oldest in terms of like the when it was written and made, or
It
is
is
there?
actually. It happens to be. Yeah.
That's very
So
interesting. Well,
yeah.
you can go check out Heart on a Wire. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out, listen to that one.
Yeah, I just recently made it's like a listening video with the image of Earth and the Moon
Oh,
that
very
I
cool.
posted on Facebook.
Okay.
So that's available for Heart on a Wire. So
There we go. Well, go check that out on Facebook if you're interested. The next thing, Nathan, if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one record you could bring with you, what would it be?
oh snap. Uh that's so tough. It's a toss up between Threat to Survival with by Shinedown, or uh Love is Dead by Churches. It's a toss up.
Ooh, both great choices.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, the next thing, Nathan, one of the last things, tell the people, for those who have watched this thus far and are more interested in Circadia and what's coming out, um, what do you want people to kind of take away from your music, your artistry, the what you do, and specific, like, whether it be from a lyrical aspect or a musical aspect, what do you want them to have as they take away your music?
Uh, Pretty much my new found as one thing that I found and learned about and discovered in 2020 is my current and new life motto, which spells the acrostic of the word built.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It is be kind, use your gifts, inspire others, love unconditionally, and try your best.
There we go. Well,
So that's pretty much the whole new philosophy of the music, how I live, everything.
there we go. Awesome. Well, guys, the last thing that I'll have Nathan do is, tell the people where they can find you at on social media, what you have coming up, and anything else you'd like to plug or talk about.
Yeah, I can be contacted or reached at our Instagram, Circadia OH Music, or our Facebook page, Circadia Sound. As far as checking out the current album, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, uh, Google Play, many others. Pandora, Napster,
There
just a throwback there.
we go.
Yeah, so Seeking Completion's available on all of those. Um, I will be regularly posting more things. Actually, in fact, I almost forgot. I currently have a GoFundMe launched for the two music videos and the next record.
Very cool.
Um, so if you wanted to even put $10 towards it to get you a signed copy a week before it comes out, that would be a huge blessing.
There we go. Well, I will leave all the links for Circadia in the description, as well as the GoFundMe. If you want to donate, I'll leave that in there. And definitely, I'm sure Nathan would appreciate any and all support. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. Again, if you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. You know, if you don't ask for it, you won't receive it. So if you could definitely go check it out, that would be awesome. And huge thanks to Nathan of Circadia for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, man. Hope to see you in person at some point, maybe at a live show. That'd be sweet.
There we go. Awesome.